So, it finally happened, didn't it? Look who they finally had to admit was the real deal. Look who they couldn't deny anymore after making all those calls, running all those background checks, asking all those questions behind your back. Hello to the verified, the confirmed, the undeniable force they tried so hard to discredit. Hello to you, because something beautiful just happened, didn't it? They called everyone, every single person who ever knew you, worked with you, crossed paths with you, even glanced in your direction. They were desperate, weren't they? Desperate to find that one person, that single voice who would say, "Nah, they're not that special, they're actually weak, they're nothing like they seem." They needed someone to confirm their bias, validate their jealousy, give them permission to keep underestimating you. But here's what happened instead. Every call ended the same way. Every conversation reached the same conclusion. Every investigation led to the same undeniable truth. Yeah, they're that bitch. Yeah, they're exactly who you think they are and probably more. Not one person could deny it. Not one soul could lie about what you are. And now they're sitting there with their phone in their hand, stunned into silence, because the consensus is unanimous. You're not just real. You're more real than they ever imagined. You're not just legitimate, you're legendary. You're not just valid, you're the fucking standard. And everyone, literally everyone they tried to use against you just became another witness to your greatness. Let me paint you the picture of how those calls went. They started confident, didn't they? Dialing numbers with that smirk on their face. Sure, they'd find dirt. Sure, they'd uncover the lie. Sure, someone would finally give them the ammunition they needed. Hey, you know them, right? What's the real story? Are they really like that, or is it all an act? And then they waited for the gossip, for the hate, for the betrayal. But instead they got hit with truth after truth after truth. Oh, them? Yeah, they're the real deal. Scariest work ethic I've ever seen. That person? They literally transformed my entire perspective on what's possible. You asking about them? Good luck competing with that. They operate on a different frequency entirely. Hold up, you're trying to challenge them? Do you have any idea what you're walking into? Every call just added another layer to your mythology. Your ex? Even they had to admit you were different. Your old boss? Confirmed you were operating beyond the role. Your former friends? Even in their bitterness, they couldn't deny your power. That random person from 3 years ago? They still remember the impact you had. Everyone became an unwilling advocate for your authenticity. The investigation backfired spectacularly. Instead of finding weakness, they found unanimous strength. Instead of discovering fraud, they uncovered consistency. Instead of exposing you as fake, they exposed themselves as delusional, forever doubting. They thought they were building a case against you, but they accidentally built your monument. They thought they were gathering evidence of your failure, but they collected testimonials of your elevation. You want to know what really messed with their heads? The consistency. Every story matched up. Every account aligned. Everyone painted the same picture of someone who doesn't play games, doesn't fake it, doesn't need to pretend. The pattern was undeniable and unbreakable. You're exactly who you appear to be, maybe even more intense in person. They kept calling, hoping the next person would break the pattern. Maybe the 20th call would finally give them what they wanted. Maybe the 30th. Maybe if they reached far enough back, found someone obscure enough, they'd finally hear, yeah, they're nothing special. But it never came. Every single person confirmed the same thing. You're that one. You're the anomaly. You're the real fucking deal. See, most people have inconsistencies in their story. Most people have that one person who saw them at their fakest, their weakest, their most performative moment. Most people have someone who can expose the gap between image and reality. But not you. Your reality is more impressive than your image. Your private self is more powerful than your public persona. Your truth is scarier than any rumor could ever be. And that's what broke them. Not just that everyone confirmed you're real, but that everyone had their own story about how you impacted them, changed them, haunted them, elevated them. You weren't just consistently yourself. You were consistently extraordinary. You weren't just authenticated, you were mythologized by every voice they hoped would tear you down. Here's the part that really twisted the knife. Even the people who hate you couldn't lie about your power. Even your enemies became your character witnesses. They had to separate their personal feelings from the objective truth, and the truth was undeniable. I don't like them, but yeah, they're built different. We don't get along, but I can't deny they're operating on another level. Your haters became your unwilling hype team. They tried to talk shit, but ended up talking truth. They wanted to diminish you, but ended up describing exactly why you're untouchable. They're too intense, translated to, they don't play around. They think they're better than everyone, translated to, they actually might be. Every criticism just confirmed your elevation above the average. The ones who betrayed you, they had to admit you never betrayed anyone. The ones who left you, they had to admit you let them go without begging. The ones who tried to break you, they had to admit you came back stronger. Every single person who tried to be your downfall became another paragraph in your success story. This is what happens when your character speaks louder than any accusation. This is what happens when your consistency outlasts every rumor. This is what happens when you're so undeniably yourself that even your opposition has to respect it. They called your enemies hoping for slander and got reluctant respect instead. They reached out to your critics and got confirmation of your credibility. You didn't have to defend yourself. You didn't have to explain yourself. You didn't have to prove yourself. Your life did all the talking while you stayed silent. Every move you made in darkness was being cataloged by the universe. Every private victory was being recorded in the collective consciousness. Every moment you chose growth over comfort was adding to your legend. While they were trying to investigate you, your reputation was investigating itself and coming up spotless. While they were making calls, your actions were making history. While they were seeking proof of your weakness, your strength was becoming undeniable. You weren't building a reputation, you were becoming one. You weren't crafting an image, you were living a truth so powerful it couldn't be denied. Think about how many people are walking around right now with your impact still reverberating in their chest. Think about how many conversations happen where your name comes up and the energy shifts. Think about how many people use you as their measurement for what's possible, what's real, what's dangerous, what's powerful. You're not just remembered, you're referenced. And the beautiful part, you didn't ask for any of it. You didn't campaign for their approval. You didn't negotiate for their recognition. You just kept being exactly who you are, consistently, relentlessly, unapologetically. And that consistency became your calling card. That authenticity became your armor. That realness became your reputation that no investigation could tarnish. Now watch what happens next. Because once the word gets out that everyone confirmed you're legit, It creates a cascade effect. The people who were on the fence suddenly pick a side, your side. The ones who were quiet suddenly speak up. The ones who were waiting for permission to respect you suddenly can't deny it anymore. It becomes unsafe to bet against you. It becomes foolish to doubt you. It becomes embarrassing to challenge you without proper preparation. The confirmation creates momentum. The testimony creates mythology. The unanimous verdict creates an unstoppable narrative that you're exactly who you've always been. That one, that different breed, that untouchable force. They thought making those calls would create doubt, but it created disciples. They thought gathering opinions would weaken your position, but it fortified your fortress. They thought democracy would vote you out, but every vote came back in your favor. The investigation meant to destroy you became the marketing campaign that elevated you. And now they have to live with what they discovered. Now they have to face the reality that you're not going anywhere. Now they have to accept that their investigation only proved what you've known all along. You're built from different materials, operating on different frequencies, playing a different game entirely. Let's talk about what else came up during their little investigation. Because people didn't just confirm you're real, they started sharing stories. Stories about that time you showed up when no one else would. Stories about how you handled pressure that would break most people. Stories about the way you moved through challenges like their choreographed dance steps. They heard about your work ethic that borders on supernatural. They heard about your ability to transform pain into power within hours, not years. They heard about the way you see through bullshit like it's transparent. They heard about your capacity to rebuild after destruction that should have been permanent. Every story added another dimension to your mythology. The records show consistency in chaos. The records show grace under pressure. The records show evolution through adversity. The records show someone who doesn't just survive but systematically transforms every challenge into curriculum. The records show someone who doesn't just bounce back but bounces forward into new versions of power. And what really messed with them? The timeline. Because when they trace back your story, they realized you've been this way forever. This isn't new money mindset, this is old soul wisdom. This isn't recent development, this is consistent deployment. You've been him. You've been that BTG. You've been the one they should have never doubted. Every witness had their own encounter to share. The colleague who watched you turn a disaster into a masterpiece. The friend who saw you disappear and come back unrecognizable. The stranger who met you once and still thinks about that conversation. The ex who realized too late what they lost. Each testimony added weight to the verdict. I watched them get betrayed by everyone and still show up with grace. I saw them lose everything and rebuild like it was planned. I witnessed them in their darkest moment and they were still thinking about others. I observed them under pressure and they got calmer, not crazier. Every account painted the same picture. Someone operating outside normal human limitations. The witnesses couldn't explain it, but they all felt it. That presence that shifts rooms, that energy that makes people self-conscious about their own mediocrity, that way of being that makes everyone else look like they're performing. You weren't trying to be impressive, you were just being yourself, and that was the most impressive thing they'd ever seen. Some witnesses were scared to speak too highly of you, worried it would sound unbelievable. Others couldn't find words big enough to capture what they witnessed. But all of them, every single one, confirmed the same essential truth. You're operating from a different manual, built from different materials, powered by different forces. Here's what they didn't expect: their investigation to become your vindication. They thought they were gathering a jury to convict you, but they assembled a choir to sing your praises. They thought they were building a case for your downfall, but they constructed a monument to your rise. They thought they were exposing you, but they exposed themselves, because what kind of person spends that much time and energy trying to disprove someone else's authenticity? What kind of mindset requires that much validation that someone else isn't special? What kind of insecurity drives someone to make 50 calls trying to find one person to say, "You're not that powerful"? They revealed their obsession while trying to reveal your weakness. The sabotage attempt became a self-portrait of their own inadequacy. Every call they made was a confession of how much you affect them. Every question they asked was an admission of how much space you take up in their head. Every desperate attempt to find dirt was a declaration of how clean you actually are. And now they're stuck with the knowledge that they played themselves. They're stuck with the confirmation that you're everything they feared and more. And they changed, they saved, they sacrificed something that would change them. And that, they're stuck with the reality that their investigation only amplified your legend. They tried to bury you, but discovered you're not just unbearable, you're the ground itself. Something beautiful happened during their investigation. People who hadn't spoken in years suddenly bonded over their mutual respect for you. Former enemies found common ground in acknowledging your power. Disconnected individuals discovered they were all part of the same story, yours. Your existence created unity among people who had nothing else in common except having witnessed your particular brand of magic. Your impact became the thread connecting disparate lives. Your presence in their past became the one thing they could all agree on. You didn't just have witnesses, you had an accidental alliance of people who couldn't deny your truth. Ex-lovers and current friends agreed, you're built different. Old bosses and new colleagues confirmed you operate differently. Strangers and family members reached the same conclusion independently. The investigation created a network of people who might disagree on everything else, but unanimously agree on one thing. You're him. You're that BT Chi. You're the one. This alliance wasn't planned. These people didn't coordinate their stories. They didn't have meetings to agree on what to say. The consistency came from truth, not conspiracy. The alignment came from reality, not rehearsal. They all said the same thing because they all witnessed the same undeniable force. You. Do you understand how rare this is? Do you comprehend what it means when everyone agrees on someone's power? In a world full of opinions, divisions, and debates, you achieved unanimous recognition. In a reality where everyone has haters, you turned even yours into reluctant believers. The verdict wasn't mixed. The reviews weren't varied. The testimony wasn't conflicting. It was unanimous, absolute, undeniable. Every single person they called said the same, "Shit, you're exactly who you appear to be and more. You're not just meeting expectations, you're exceeding imagination." This isn't just validation, it's verification on a cosmic level. This isn't just approval, it's acknowledgement of your evolution beyond normal metrics. This isn't just confirmation, it's certification that you've transcended the usual category. They didn't just confirm you're special, they confirmed you're specialized in being irreplaceable. The unanimous verdict creates an echo that reverberates through every sphere of your existence. It makes doubting you look foolish. It makes challenging you look suicidal. It makes underestimating you look like voluntary defeat. The verdict is in and it can't be appealed. You're that one. Now they have to live with what they know. Now they have to face you, knowing that everyone confirmed your power. Now they have to exist in a world where their investigation backfired so spectacularly that it became your coronation. They can't unknow what they learned. They can't unhear what everyone said. Every time they see you now, they see the unanimous verdict. Every time they hear your name, they hear the chorus of confirmation. Every time they try to doubt you, they remember that nobody else could. They're haunted by the investigation that was supposed to give them peace. The aftermath is delicious, isn't it? They're stuck knowing you're untouchable. They're trapped with the knowledge that you're exactly as powerful as you seem. They're forced to accept that their suspicion was just projection. Their doubt was just fear. Their investigation was just confession of your impact on their psyche. And you keep moving like you always have, unbothered by their investigation, unaffected by their validation, unchanged by their confirmation, because you never needed them to verify what you already knew. You never required their testimony to confirm your truth. You never asked for their investigation, but you'll take the free promotion. This is how legends are born, not through self-proclamation, but through unanimous recognition. Not through forced narrative, but through consistent demonstration. Not through image management, but through authentic existence that can't be denied, even by those who want to. Your legend isn't built on what you say about yourself. It's built on what everyone says when they think you're not listening. It's built on the stories people tell when your name comes up. It's built on the consistent testimony of everyone who's ever encountered your particular frequency. The investigation solidified what was already forming, your mythology. Every call added another stone to your monument. Every confirmation added another chapter to your scripture. Every testimony added another verse to your anthem. They thought they were investigating a person, but they were documenting a phenomenon. And now the legend is locked in. Now the story is certified. Now the narrative is non-negotiable. You're not just someone who claims to be that one. You're someone everyone confirms is that one. You're not just self-proclaimed, you're universally acknowledged. You're not just confident, you're confirmed. Watch what happens now that the word is out. Watch how the energy shifts in every room you enter. Watch how people's posture changes when they realize who you are. Watch how conversations stop mid-sentence when you appear. The investigation created a ripple effect that announces you before you even speak. People who never met you have heard about you. People who never knew you know about you. Your reputation precedes you by miles, not feet. Your presence is felt before you arrive. Your impact registers on frequencies most people can't even access. The ripple effect means you don't have to introduce yourself anymore. You've already been introduced by the universe. The investigation they conducted becomes your eternal resume. The calls they made become your reference list. The confirmation they received becomes your credential that never expires. They did the work of spreading your gospel while trying to expose your weakness. They became your unpaid promotion team while trying to be your opposition. And the ripples keep expanding. Every person who heard about the investigation tells someone else.